Welcome to today's deep dive. We've got a really fascinating stack of sources to look at today. Local news reports, some very vocal social media posts from a resident named Stephen Todd Faircloth, and a strategic media blueprint.
Yeah, and all of these are centering on this escalating crisis at the Bibb County Jail in Georgia.
Right, and our mission today is to just impartially unpack that tension. You've got failing infrastructure, rising violence, and a community demanding accountability. And it all kind of kicks off with this wild case from 2022. Carlos Domara Shelley, who was held on a $6,600 bond, was strangled to death in his cell.
And his cellmate was charged with murder, which, seems open and shut. But then skip ahead to June 2026, and prosecutors they walk away. They drop the charges, citing these really vague adverse rulings and witness problems.
Which is just, I mean, it's like a locked room mystery where the detectives suddenly throw their hands up and walk away without telling the public why. Are we talking about missing camera footage here, or is it a deeper systemic issue?
Well, the media blueprint we reviewed shows exactly why people are so frustrated. The dismissal sparks this massive demand for public records because citizens aren't accepting rumors anymore. They want to see the actual court dockets and dismissal filings.
Totally, because a witness problem in a locked building implies a total breakdown of basic evidence collection, right?
Yeah, or a complete breakdown of physical control. I mean, to understand why a witness won't testify, you really have to look at the chaotic environment of the jail itself. Assaults didn't just drift upward, they skyrocketed. From 16 incidents in 2020 to over 80 in both 2023 and 2024.
Wow, over 80. That is a massive jump.
Exactly. And the root cause isn't just behavioral, it's structural. We're talking about broken locks that literally allowed inmates unmonitored free movement through the cell blocks.
So free movement meaning they're just wandering the tiers, creating their own blind spots. I mean, no wonder witnesses are terrified.
Right, because if you report a crime, the guy who did it can just walk right out of his cell and find you.
That makes the whole concept of a secure facility kind of a joke.
And that is the engine driving what Stephen Faircloth describes in his posts as jail justice. When the physical environment fails so badly, when people are allegedly washing jumpsuits in toilet water and the locks don't even work, an alternative, violent hierarchy takes over.
Good grief, toilet water. That is grim. And this institutional collapse is why the FBI had to step in, right? Taking the lead on investigating inmate deaths and use of force complaints.
Yeah, the FBI stepping in is a huge deal. So with them taking the lead, local leadership, Sheriff Davis and Mayor Miller, they're pushing this massive financial solution.
Right, a $28 to $31 million expansion. But wait, if the immediate danger is broken locks and blind spots, why does it cost $30 million? You don't need a massive new wing just to fix hardware.
Well, they argue it's not just about locks. The plan includes adding 24 dedicated mental health cells and completely overhauling the security infrastructure to physically eliminate that unmonitored movement.
But doesn't that just dodge the cultural rot? I mean, if your house has a severe termite problem, does building an expensive new addition actually kill the bugs? You just end up with more space for the termites to spread.
That termite analogy captures the skepticism from Faircloth and the local NAACP perfectly. They argue that throwing $30 million at the problem just creates more concrete.
More concrete, yeah. You get more beds, but you aren't fixing the root issues.
Precisely. It completely sidesteps the issue of systemic mismanagement and staff oversight. They are fundamentally questioning whether you can build your way out of a cultural failure.
Which brings us back to why you, the listener, should care about this. It's a stark look at how local tax dollars are spent and the basic human rights expected within the justice system.
Right. It leaves the community at this critical juncture, having to decide if structural expansion is a prerequisite for safety or just an expensive distraction from the real issues inside.
Definitely. And here's a provocative thought to leave you with, something that wasn't covered in the blueprint. If a massive $30 million facility is built, but the internal culture remains shrouded in secrecy and the FBI eventually forces a federal takeover of the jail.
Oh, right.
Yeah, at what point does public safety infrastructure actually become a liability to the public itself? Does the county just end up footing the bill for a brand new fortress they aren't even allowed to run? Something to keep an eye on as this plays out.